Hi, I'm Jordan Mackey, and this is my media clip project for Test 302, Educating Exceptional Students. So we were asked to pick one of the course objectives from this course and do the media clip project, showing how we were able to meet that course objective. So the course objective that I chose was number 2. That course objective states that the candidate will be able to apply the principles of universal design for learning and differentiated instruction to meet the needs of all students in the classroom. So universal design for learning, the textbook definition for that says modifications to how the curriculum is presented or represented or to the ways in which students respond to the curriculum. So it talks about how, as a teacher, you can modify the curriculum in the way your delivery, the way that it's presented to the students, and then in the way that the students respond to that curriculum. So finding different ways that you're presenting it and they're receiving it, and then how you assess them from there. Um, So it's designing instructional materials or activities and being able to make the content accessible for all students. Some of the platforms that were suggested were having audio or video inputs or outputs, digital talk books. So it just gives a couple more ways that more students can access the same material and be able to still complete the activity. So that was the short overview of the universal design for learning. I think that differentiation in the classroom is huge, huge, huge. This is something that is crucial to have in the classroom. So, what is differentiation? It's addressing multiple learning differences in a typical classroom. So, not all students learn the same. There's not going to be any student that they have the same strengths and weaknesses, the same learning styles, the same habits in the classroom. So this is a way to address multiple of the learning styles of the students in the classroom. Differentiation likes to follow content, process, product. So it's the content in which you're choosing to teach the class, the process of which you're presenting that information to the students, and then the product. What's the end goal? What is it that you are wanting the students to learn, and how are the students going to show that they learned it? So the product can be the assessment, it can be the activity, it can be their response to the content. It's just the flow of differentiation is the content, process, product. Some of the different things that differentiation covers is the different learning styles, which I talked about. Multiple intelligences, so the range of intelligences of the students in the classroom. Different ways to give formative assessments. Classroom performance, again, there's not going to be one student that has the same strengths and weaknesses. There's not going to be more than one student that is the exact same. So it's how the students perform in the classroom, and you have to decide where to go from there. Another thing is student interest, getting the students hooked because they are interested in it is the key. That's the beginning to get them interested in the content and the subject from the get-go before you go into the content is really huge, which is really difficult, but that's what's going to make the students stay on task and stay focused throughout. So it talks about going off of the strengths and the needs of the student. So again, it's talking about addressing multiple learning styles. So the needs of the students are forever changing too. What one student needs, another student might be their strength. So it's figuring out what the needs of the students are and then figuring out your instruction from there. Ways to do this is to create engaging lessons. Again, from the last side, if you get students hooked and interested from the beginning when you're engaging, then the rest of the lesson is going to go a lot more smooth. It's going to be a lot simpler for the teacher and for the student. If they're interested in what they're learning, it's easier for them to learn it. That's what meaningful learning is. It's something that they're going to be able to take away. You don't want to teach facts. You want to be able to teach concepts that the students will be able to build on as they go throughout school, and just real life content that they'll need, something that they can relate to. By doing this, you're going to see an increase in achievement because, again, going back to if they're interested, if they get it, it's a lot easier for them to learn and to pick up on. And if it's content that is real life and it's not just for the classroom to get through the subject, there's going to be an increase in the achievement level. Assessing the students, it's through screen progress monitoring. So with the assessments, there's two things that this really shows, because the first, again, is student success. How much did they learn and to what extent? What did they learn to what extent? It will show their success and their academic achievement thus far in the learning, but it also shows how effective the teacher's instruction is. For example, if you give two different types of assessments, they do great on one, not so great on the other, and it's, 2 different days. So it's showing that they understand the content on one, and then the other one they might be a little unsure of. That can show you that they get the content. It's the way that it was presented that might need some tweaking. And so that's obviously beneficial to see how the students, their achievement so far and their success from the lessons. But I think almost more importantly, to be able to see how effective your teaching is, or how effective your instruction is huge. You need to be able to see how well students are responding to the process that you chose, because as teachers, as adults, as educated humans, because we've been through school and we know the process of of what we're teaching, something so simple or basic could be extraordinary to the students. So just because we understand the content and so the way that we present it makes sense to us, it doesn't always come across that way to students, and it takes them different learning paths to get it, and it just sometimes takes time for them to understand it. But so what seems simple to a teacher could be astronomical for students, and finding that balance and finding what works for you and what works for your students is huge in differentiated instruction. So why is this important, and why was this one of the course objectives? Well, universal design for learning and differentiated instruction, again, are so crucial to have in the classroom. Being able to implement this in the classroom is so beneficial to every single student, but especially those that have learning disabilities, because you're tweaking the lessons and you're presenting them in ways based on students' needs. So it's going to help every student in the classroom, but especially those that need more guidance and need more help and have more needs. Being able to have it more student-based is going to make the world of difference in the classroom. And so that's why I chose a course objective number 2. I feel like I learned so much about differentiated instruction throughout this semester. We talked about this in multiple modules, how to implement it, why it's so important, and I'm very passionate about this because I think it's so important. I think it's a great idea, and more teachers should be doing this, and hopefully they are. And so that was the course objective that I picked, and that was my project. Thank you.